opinions about the TBS Mambo controller with a Crossfire module. I want the Mambo, but it's been out of stock for ages. Jesse, why do you want the Mambo if you don't want to use Tracer? I think the biggest reason that you would pick the Mambo is that you want to use Tracer, and it's got built-in Tracer. As far as controllers go, like the Mambo, the first thing that annoys me about the Mambo and the Tango is that they don't run OpenTX or EdgeTX, they run FreedomTX. And FreedomTX is distributed, it's based on OpenTX, but it's distributed by TBS. And that means that when EdgeTX is releasing new features and new improvements, we have to wait for TBS to roll those into FreedomTX and then push them out to you. And TBS has been really freaking busy lately for perfectly valid reasons. But they haven't had as much development resources as the EdgeTX team does. And so it means that FreedomTX is behind. Whereas if you had an OpenTX radio, then as soon as something new comes out, you can just flash it. The other thing is the Mambo, the gimbals on the Mambo are these. It's the same for the Tango. The way they work is that the gimbal has no electronics in it. It only has these magnets on it, and the sensors for the magnets are in the main board. And this means that the gimbal is not, you can just literally lift the gimbal off the main board. It makes it mechanically simpler. It makes it easier to put together and easier to repair. But it also means that it's super sensitive to calibration error. And a lot of people who have the Mambo and the Tango are constantly having to recalibrate their gimbals. I will mention that Stinger Swarm flew the Mambo as his main radio for a while and then ditched it. And one of the reasons, maybe the main reason he ditched it, was that the gosh dang gimbals kept having to be recalibrated and losing their centering. And it just got too annoying to him. I have done a training, and in the training, the organization running the training used the Tango for all of their students. So we're in a training, and there's 15 students there, and they're all using Tangos. And throughout the class, we're constantly having to recalibrate the gimbals. And they're like, my gimbals have lost center again. These are, I know there's people out there who are going, what are you talking about? I've had a Tango and a Mambo forever. It's not a problem. I understand that not everybody has these problems, but these are real problems. And they are some of the reasons why, to me, the Tango or the Mambo wouldn't be my first choice as a radio unless I also wanted to use the internal module. That's the thing. If you're dying to use Crossfire or you're dying to use Tracer, then those are absolutely solid radios. And it's not like the other radios out there don't have their own batch of problems, okay? We're focusing on these radios, though, because that's the one you asked about. But if you don't want to use Tango, it's not like the Mambo is such an amazing radio that you would buy it if you didn't intend to use Tracer. That's my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion. What was your actual question? What's my opinion about TBS Mambo with a Crossfire module? Jesse, my opinion is if you intend to use a Crossfire module, get a different radio that runs EdgeTX, and at least then you'll have regular firmware updates, and you'll have access to a good set of Hall effect gimbals that don't have to be recalibrated all the time.